Like BMW's X1, Audi's Q3 and Mercedes's B-Class, Volvo is now hoping to attract a new audience to the brand and rack up some solid numbers in the process. And the car that's been given this task is this, the Volvo V40 Cross Country. We are bringing you an exclusive first drive to see whether it can deliver or not. Now normally, Volvos that have a V as the first part of the name are estates. But as you can see, the V40 clearly isn't. It's actually a sleek and swoopy hatchback of generous proportions. From its familiar Volvo snout to the hipster tail. The V40's 4.4 meters of length is layered with deceptively simple lines. These lines give the Cross Country an air of solidity that's blended with a relaxed style. But it has a lot of flair too, like the contrasting mirrors and roof, which look very striking. To do justice to the Cross Country tag, the V40 also has a matte black plastic bow tie on the front fender. This black band snaps neatly around the whole car. It also sports silver underbelly protectors to add some panache to the rugged Cross Country. An additional 40mm of ground clearance takes the total to 173mm on this Cross Country. That's a hair's breadth more than the Audi Q3. But with the protruding sharp-edged front splitter, you better be cautious about where you tread. Now let's step inside and see whether this entry-level Volvo feels as good as its elder siblings. So the interior's typically Volvo, which means the design isn't outright exciting, but there are good materials, soft touch dash, and there are a few design highlights like the floating console, which we've seen before. But I like this finish here, and this gear lever too has this clear top to it, which is backlit, and in the dark it looks awesome. The seats, just so supportive. They are fantastic, and of course, typically Volvo again, there's a fair amount of kit on this car on offer. Yes, these powered seats come as standard, and there's good headroom too. The full-size panoramic sunroof adds to the sense of space. There's a smart analog instrument cluster for the driver, but this is replaced by a high-tech full LCD display on the top-end variant. There's a small LCD screen on the center console too. However, the reversing camera and parking sensors are offered as options. There are thoughtfully designed cubby holes like these for the rear seats. And passengers also get nifty cup holders and an armrest. The seats are big and comfy. In terms of space, kneeroom is adequate, but headroom is a bit tight. And sitting 3 abreast will be a bit cramped too. The boot boasts of 319 liters of luggage space. And there's a bit more under the floor as there's no spare wheel. You see, the V40 rides on Continental's run-flat tires. And the V40 Cross Country has one quirk. Try filling fuel. You won't be able to unless you use the special funnel that's been provided with the car. With that sorted, let's hit the road. Doing the propelling on the V40cc is a 2-liter diesel motor. Yes, it's the very same D3 motor that Volvo unleashed on the XC60 and S60 last year. However, this 5-cylinder motor has been detuned for the V40 Cross Country. Nonetheless, it was making a strong impression here. Push the accelerator hard and the V40 will give you a bit of wheel spin and it'll just scamper ahead. Basically, it feels more potent than its 147 bhp figure suggests. But a lot of the V40's magic is down to its 35.7 kilograms of torque. It cruises effortlessly on the highway, and the way it overtakes in one huge stride.
it's just delightful.
In our acceleration tests, the V40 scampered from standstill to 60 in under 4 seconds, and 100 comes up in 8.7 seconds. Your only clue to the speed is the road noise that trickles into the cabin. The real shortcoming of this motor is the way it delivers torque. Peak torque only comes in past 2,500 RPM, and the Autobox has only 6 ratios to choose from. And the result of all this is quite obvious at lower speeds.
Driving in stop-go city traffic can be a bit jerky, and that's because the bottom end isn't all that strong. When you push the accelerator, the gearbox will change and bang, you'll be in the power band, and that will send you shooting ahead, a bit quicker than what you might have wanted.
The V-Box confirms that the V40 is quick. When accelerating from 20 km an hour to 80 km an hour, the time taken is 5.5 seconds. But the kickdown is quite sharp and adds to the suddenness of the experience. It takes some time, but you can get used to its behavior. Volvo claims that the V40 Cross Country delivers a fuel efficiency of 19 km per litre, which is no doubt helped by the smooth and quick-acting start-stop system. The V40 Cross Country comes with independent suspension all around, and in India it wears 16-inch rims at all corners.
Now the suspension is capable of delivering a smooth, cushy ride for most normal conditions.
With the Cross Country name, I was keen to see how it would fare on poor surfaces.
But if you're going to take the cross-country part of the V40's name seriously, then let me warn you that on poor roads, you'll find that the suspension will feel a bit harsh.
I'm not certain, but that could be because of the run flats. Basically, you'll want to crawl over broken roads or avoid them altogether. Without any proper four-wheel drive hardware, you wouldn't want to take the V40 Cross Country off-road either. But most buyers would be interested in pointing the V40 at a nice winding piece of tarmac on weekends. Wouldn't you?
Now this is a nice car to drive. It's pretty nippy, turns in nicely, suspension is sorted, and well, it doesn't roll around corners.
While the V40 is game for some fun, it isn't an out-and-out driver's car either.
What robs you of some of the driving pleasure is the steering. This EPS feels a bit too light at times, and when you're tracking straight on the highway, it feels unnecessarily heavy.
While the steering can be annoying at times, it doesn't seriously diminish the joy of driving the V40. So, the cross-country part of the V40's name shouldn't be taken all that seriously. Yes, it has added ground clearance, but it needs it for Indian roads. It doesn't have the four-wheel drive hardware like the Q3, and it really shouldn't be compared though with the likes of BMW's X1 or the Audi Q3. It's more in line with BMW's 1 Series and the Mercedes A-Class hatchbacks that are due in India later this year. Well, what's the V40 like? Well, it's everything we expect from a Volvo. It's handsomely styled, well-built and really well-equipped, and is sure to appeal to many of the youngsters out there who'll end up spending a lot of time behind the wheel, and that's where it's best enjoyed. It's spacious there, that engine delivers cracking performance out on an open road, and it's quite enjoyable even around winding roads. Although it could do with more fluidity in stop-go city traffic and over broken roads. And even though the backseat isn't particularly spacious, it does little to take away from the V40's overall appeal. Volvo will be making it all the more attractive by pricing it very competitively. It is expected that Volvo will price the V40 Cross Country at a BMW X1 rivaling 28 lakh rupees for the base D3 variant. A petrol variant is also being mulled, although that hasn't been confirmed as yet. Volvo is also working hard to reach out to their customers by expanding their dealership network. As of today, the dealership network has increased by 3 to a total of 12 dealerships spread across the country, with another 2 in the pipeline. Let's hope that Volvo can expand the network quickly, because that seems to be the biggest limiting factor for the brand today.